G'day YouTubers, Devil's Prodigy here, bringing you my first Tactica video for Project Gobsmacked, and this is going to be on the Skarsnik, the Warlord of the Eight Peaks model. And what I'm going to be covering is a little bit of information about the model, and then talk about some of the tactics I use when I use him in my army. Now, I'm not going to be covering the absolute everything, and I'm not going to say that my way is the correct way to do everything. This is just how I use him in my army. There's lots of different combinations out there and lots of different strategies, but this is the things that I think are really beneficial with the model, or how I use the model in my army. So, a little bit about him. Skarsnik is the chieftain of the Crooked Moon tribe and the most powerful night goblin in the World's Edge Mountains. All of the surrounding green scrim tribes acknowledge Skarsnik's overlordship of the peaks, valleys and upper levels of the ruined dwarf hold of Curragh Eight Peaks. Through devious machinations and relentless spite, Skarsnik has risen to command in the midst of the bitter and ongoing three-way battle between the green-skinned dwarves and Skaven. So that's a bit of a quote from the Orcs and Goblins rulebook. I won't read the whole lot, even though it's quite interesting. But yeah, so Skarsnik is a Night Goblin model. He's your special character, a Lord choice. He costs 275 points, and he comes with light armour and a piece of equipment called Skarsnik's Prodder. His special rules include Fear Elves, Hatreds of Dwarves, and the Gobbler model that comes with him has Killing Blow. He also has a couple of other special rules called Sneaky Schemes and Tricksy Traps. So, Sneaky Schemes basically means it's sort of, Skarsnik is renowned for his evil sneakiness, sending warriors through dank secret tunnels to catch his enemy off guard before the battle has even begun. And what this means is, at the start of the game, before deploying, you roll a d6 for each unit, and on a roll of a 6, that unit has been delayed. So this is what the enemy does. He rolls a d6 for each unit, and if he rolls a 6, that unit has been delayed, and it basically comes back as reinforcements in the movement phase of their first turn. Very handy, and I think it's one of the greatest rules he has. And the other one is Tricksy Traps. Now, I haven't really had much experience with this one, but what it means is any friendly Night Goblin unit that chooses to flee as a charge reaction and subsequently rallies at the beginning of its next turn may reform as normal, but is then also free to move during the remaining move subphase. The unit is also free to shoot as normal, but it always counts as having moved. Now, what this means is you could, I guess, have a few units of let's say Night Goblin archers or something like that. They could flee, and then you could rally, and then you would get to shoot again the next turn. So it's a way to sort of do a little bit of sneakiness around the battlefield. Like I said, I haven't had too much experience with it, so I'm not too sure. A little bit about Gobbla, which is Skarsnik's pet. So this red guy just here. Skarsnik's Gobbla is a huge and ferocious giant cave squig, and but they're basically treated as Skarsnik and Gobbla are treated as a single infantry model. And the other thing that Gobbla has is Killing Blow, and he also has 4 attacks. So both have 4 attacks each, with Gobbla's strength being 6. Quite handy when you're up against those tougher armies and that. So, in terms of using him in an army, I think he's great. I think he's an excellent model, and especially for a Night Goblin army, I think you definitely want to have him in your Night Goblin army, or Orcs and Goblins sort of themed army. Yeah, I think he's one of the best Lord models. I've had a lot of fun with him. He does cause a little bit of chaos and that at times. Sometimes I've had games where he just hasn't done anything. But I thought I'd sort of show you the way you can deploy him, or a couple of ways that you could deploy him. One of them is by putting him in a horde, which is generally how I run him. I run him in a horde like this. And what that gives is, with his weapon, which is Skarsnik's Prodder, It basically is a bound spell, and what it is a magic missile with a range of 24 inches and causes D3 strength 6 hits with no armor saves allowed. So it's quite good at killing off a few models before they get in. But what it is if you're in a horde, it increases to D6. So not sure if I said it. When he's not in a horde formation, he only gets D3, but when he is in a horde formation, he gets D6 hits. So it is worth putting him in a horde formation, and that way you get those extra hits as well. It is quite good. I've used it a few times against in a few battles, and it has killed off a few if you're getting charged or you're getting close to a cavalry unit or something, and there are only 5 models in the unit. You've got a good chance of, doing a bit of damage, especially with the no armor saves allowed. Most cavalry, they don't really have, they've got a great armor save. Often they don't have a ward save, I guess. So it is really handy at killing off some of those cavalry units and stopping them from totally annihilating you. One of the other formats, I guess, is you could sort of stick him in a formation like this. And again, you could have 6 night goblins across or whatever. I tend not to go this way, and the reason mainly is, and I can show you, say you're up against an enemy and they charge your unit. So you've got the night goblins here. So I'll just turn them a little bit. And let's say you're getting charged by a cavalry unit or whatever. So they charge in. They sort of, they meet up there. Now what this means is, in base contact, there's 4 models, and they could all allocate their attacks against Skarsnik. So it's quite nasty. He has a toughness of 4, but he doesn't really have an armor save or anything like that. So, they got 6 wounds total, and that cavalry unit, if they had 2 or 3 attacks each, they could wipe him out in the first round of combat. So that's why I don't run him this way. I run him in the horde formation, and it's a trick that I've seen quite a few other players use when they're using Skarsnik. When you've got him in the horde, and you get charged by a unit that's 5 across, they maximise frontage, and as you can see, if we zoom in a little bit, there's only, I might have to bring it up this way a little bit so you can see, there's only the one cavalry model against Skarsnik there. So only one guy can attack against him. This can be critical. This can really change the game, and it has for me quite a few times, because only the one attack gets against him. It doesn't kill him, of course. Gobbla gets to attack back. Skarsnik gets to attack back, and there's tons of damage coming from them usually. So it's really good at protecting Skarsnik. A lot of people say, no, you should never get Skarsnik in combat. Keep him right at the back. Keep him in a unit of archers and that. I'm just not a big archers person for night goblins. I just like to get stuck into combat, and why not? Why not get him in there? Gobbla's got killing blow. You can kill a few things off. I think he's really good to have in combat. I've used him about 4 or 5 times this way, and it's always worked out really well. Only one match he got killed off, but at the end of the day, the rest of the night goblins got killed off at the same time. So I thought it went really well. And if he can last, 4 turns or whatever, that's great. The other reason I like to put him like this is because, you protect him a bit longer as well. He's got the high leadership, so his leadership is 8, and you want him to survive, because the rest of the night goblins around, they sort of go down to a lower leadership, and when you got other things that are close by, you want them to sort of get the Skarsnik's leadership as well. So I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think now. Yeah, see, night goblin's leadership's only 5. So you don't want him to die off too quickly. You want to sort of protect him. That's why some people are really cautious and put him right at the back. But yeah, I say night goblins, we don't hide back. We get in there, we cause havoc, we smash them. I mean, the other thing I tend to do is, in a horde like this, I might have 3 fanatics, and I just send them out, the fanatics, when someone gets in charge range. And usually I sort of move them around and that, so often the cavalry or whatever have got to go through them, and they just take heaps and heaps of wounds. So yeah, horde formation, fanatics, with the Skarsnik in it, very deadly. Highly recommend it. As I said, it's not the answer for everyone. Everyone will play him differently, but this is the best combination I've sort of seen, and has worked well for me. The other thing, the rule that can force enemies into reserves is really handy. I played a match, and basically there was the guy's artillery, and his artillery didn't make it onto the battlefield, and he only could come on the next turn, and yeah, it just worked out really well. I was able to sort of prevent that shooting for a little bit and get across the field the battlefield really quickly. Again, I haven't really used the sort of the tricksy traps where they sort of sorry, was it tricksy traps? Yeah, tricksy traps where where they flee as a charge reaction and then can rally and that. I haven't really used that. Some people might have. I'm keen to hear your feedback on how that works and some tactics you use with that. But yeah, I'll leave it there. A bit of a long tactic video, but I think it's really hard to sort of make a really condensed tactic video. But yeah, get Skarsnik, give him a go. He's a lot of fun. He can change the game up dramatically, especially with the sneaky schemes. I think, you know, the total package together, they get, you know, 8 attacks. Gobbla has strength 6, Skarsnik is strength 4, and their toughness 4. They can do a fair bit of damage and can cause a lot of havoc as well. The other thing with this horde, when you've got it like this, I recommend putting nets in as well. If you can drop an enemy down from strength 4 to strength 3, huge difference. It changes everything. I think nets are a must in this sort of formation as well. Yeah, it might cost a lot, but at the same time, you know, if you can drop a strength 4 unit down to strength 3 or a strength 3 unit down to strength 2, you're laughing, because your night goblins are going to be, you know, not getting killed off really quickly, and you're going to be smashing him back. So yeah, combat res, you know, this is what it's all about, the combat res points at the end, and you want to be able to keep as many of your night goblins around so you get those rank bonuses and all that other good stuff. So alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this tactic video. Please leave your comments, let me know any suggestions, any feedback. You know, as I said, this is my first tactic video, and I'm keen to get feedback on what you'd like me to change up or do differently. I would love to have, I guess I wish I had some better editing software so I could do a few more things in that. And I am looking into that, hopefully getting some decent editing software to help me do some tactic videos. So, but yeah, hope you enjoyed it guys. Let me know what tactic videos you'd like to see next. That will sort of help me work out which model to do next. Alright guys, all the best. See you in the next video.